Welcome to the football field on the Norwich Free Academy campus for NFA 23's live coverage of the 1992 graduation ceremony. Good evening, I'm Ross Levanta. First graduation at the Academy was in 1858, and once again, 134 years later, we celebrate the tradition with over 400 graduates who will graduate this evening. They are about to begin a new chapter in their lives, as about 70% of them will go on to some form of higher education. Several traditions have been carried since that date in 1858, and they are continued tonight. But as you can bet, the campus has definitely changed. In fact, during the early 1900s, the campus ended right about where I'm standing. The campus has grown from just a few buildings to 14, and will continue to grow with the addition of the Masonic Temple, which is now called the Performing Arts Center, and the new library, the Latham Science and Information Center, which should be completed by midsummer. Tonight, the class of 1942 is celebrating its golden anniversary by participating in the class of 92's graduation. They will be following the class of 92 in the procession. Fortunately, with us, we have two class of 1942 members. With me is the two co-chairpersons of the reunion committee, Mrs. Nancy Driscoll Dutton and Mr. Bronnermine. Good evening, and thank you very much for stopping by. I have a question for both of you. I'll ask Mrs. Dutton first. As you participate in the graduation ceremonies this evening, what memories are brought back from your days here at NFA?
Well, many memories come back to me. Of course, the size of NFA was so impressive for a young kid, 13 or 14 years old. There's a lot of spirit on this campus. In September of our freshman or junior year, the hurricane arrived and we had no school for a few days, no lights, etc. Then we were into all sorts of activities after school, during school, studying, changing classes. All that was lots of fun and different for us. There were many, many formal dances. During Christmas holiday, you'd be out every other night, it seemed, at some event. There were football rallies that attracted so many people. The Student Advisory Board was founded while I was at the Academy. We had prize reading and all sorts of the play shop and all sorts of activities. Then, of course, in December of our senior year, war came upon us, and that did dampen spirits a bit. Many of the students, many of the boys wanted to join the service immediately. Some did, others remained, and things did change after graduation. We also had to study very hard for our SATs, and we felt very grown up, and we had a wonderful time in spite of all the interruptions, etc.
Okay, obviously since 1942 the campus has changed a lot. How do you feel about these changes as you can see them when you're here today?
Well, I like them very much. There are many changes. For example, the former Home Ec building on Broadway is now a private residence. Also, the Alumni House was a private home, and that is a very useful place, especially when you're planning a reunion. The new gymnasium is terrific, air-conditioned, so huge, but I must mention that back in 1942, Norton Gym was considered the gymnasium of the era. People would have all sorts of contests and basketball meets, etc. here. It was state-of-the-art, really it was, but times have changed and we've grown up. Shattuck House is new. The MT building had an extension, and then, as you mentioned, the Performing Arts Center adds a new dimension to this NFA campus. Now, about the question about how do I like the changes, many of them are very different. Of course, we didn't have computers, and when I walked through that new Latham Center, it was amazing how wonderful that will be for all of you. I also approve of the program that helps adjust students to NFA, those who don't seem to be fitting in or who have bad attitudes or don't want to study or want to leave school. I think having a special place for them to give them extra help is very important. Of course, you have many more guidance counselors. We had one or two, and we had possibly 360 students. So the guidance counselors can watch these students, and we hope they will stay in school, because a lot of them used to leave when they turned 16 and probably did not make out too well after that. As I mentioned, all of these changes are very positive, and I like to see the campus growing and improving all the time.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're
Mr. Bronnerwine, what changes have you seen here today?
Changes? Well, I've seen, I wasn't...
No.
What advice do you have for the class of
I'm supposed to have the advice.
1992?
The advice is to be persistent. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Because if you don't try, you don't know if it's going to work or not. So you just keep on trying until you find the niche that you fit in. Because I've been on the road in business for a good number of years, and I've tried to call on customers, sell them things, and if you don't do it the first time, you don't just walk away, you come back again. Because the average person will say no the first time, but you be persistent. And you should broaden your education, and instead of in a straight line and say in science or something, spread out and do public speaking and do history and so forth, because it broadens you when you get out in the outer field. And also communications, because if you can't communicate, the knowledge you have does not mean anything to anybody else but yourself. And if you can't use that knowledge to convince other people of what you're driving at, then it's not going to help very well. And I think, as I said before, be persistent, and you'll come out very well in this world.
Okay, thank you very much. We hope you the best of luck at your reunion this summer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We've heard an awful lot about the class of 1942. Now let's get a history of their class. My colleague, once again this year as last, is Bob Weingart.
Thank you, Ross. Before I begin, I'd just like to welcome the class of 1942 to our ceremonies here this evening. It's quite an honor for us to have this class participate in the class of 1992 commencement exercise. Pride at the Academy doesn't stop once people have graduated. Through our alumni office, people are able to keep in contact with their classmates, and as you can see, there are many alumni here tonight. Through the years of 1938 to 1942, these men and women had many accomplishments that gave them unity and class spirit. Between plays produced by the Play Shop and Chorus and the athletic teams, the class of 1942 was both energetic and enthusiastic. The Play Shop presented The Admirable Creighton, and the Chorus offered short selections from Faust. In 1941, Superintendent Principal Henry Tyrrell announced his resignation, and Mr. George Shattuck succeeded him. During their upper year, the class of 1942 football team placed 8th in the state, and again the Play Shop scored a hit performing Captain Applejack, starring Charlie Stewart and Jimmy Donahue. That spring, the baseball team won the conference championship. Finally, as seniors, the class of 1942 felt superior. The Play Shop performed A Christmas Carol. In their yearbook, they said they will remember the sports, studies, classes, and parties, and the inspiration of their teachers. Another quote from the yearbook says, "Memories, images, and precious thoughts that shall not die and cannot be destroyed." Now, Ross and I will give you a little bit of information about this school year at NFA.
It's certainly been a great year, Bob. You know, it's great, the tradition. I mean, I look down at the concert band, which will once again play the Pomp and Circumstance, the choir, which is always here as every year. It really is great to see the tradition as the fans pile in.
Yes, Ross, tradition is a lot of what NFA is about. The band, of course, this year having much luck in the Dixie Classic Music Festival down in Virginia. They traveled there this spring. Some of the accomplishments this school year, a senior here at NFA, Neely Rushford, was accepted by the International Educational and Cultural Program Up With People. She's the first graduate from this school to be accepted into the program, and we wish her the best of luck with that.
Yes, right off the bat, we'd like to thank our three NFA TV seniors, Nicole Monter, Heather Galmini, Mark Maxim, and of course our fourth, Noah Vaughter. They've done such a sensational job at the TV club all through the year, and of course in the class with Mr. Oakes and Miss Thompson. They deserve all the credit in that category.
Yes, and it's been certainly a great year for NFA TV.
Yes, we've really stepped up as far as our broadcasts are concerned. If you watch the baccalaureate on Sunday, incredible production.
Always improving ourselves there, the quality of broadcasts and the frequency.
Getting on with more stuff from this school year that has occurred throughout the NFA campus and some of its students. Heather Lynn Brown is NFA's delegate to the annual American Legion Auxiliary Laurel Girls State at Quinnipiac College.
Luis O. Perez received a full tuition scholarship valued at $40,000 to attend the Cooper Union School for the Advancement of Science and Art.
Blower Joseph Beasley captured a place award in the Connecticut Scholastic Art Competition with his self-portrait pencil drawing. And Bob, that brings up that great student art exhibition that was held last month. Some of the great pieces that were in there, especially by some seniors that we'll be seeing today. Nicole Monter was one of them who had a slate up in Slater, and she did a remarkable job with her artwork.
That's another one of those NFA traditions, is our art school here at NFA, Ross. It's very productive, very great experience for those people who participate in the art program.
Yes, it's been around for a while too. I'm sure those class of 1942 graduates can remember that museum back then. It was just as successful, and now we can see Dr. Morton Sherman making his way towards the podium. This will, of course, be his last graduation. There's John L. Kuhner. He's the director of the NFA band. He's getting ready to charge up Pomp and Circumstance, but there is Dr. Morton Sherman. This will be his final commencement, the 134th commencement of the Norwich Free Academy graduation. We are live at the NFA football field on the NFA campus.
And Ross, looks like the band's about ready to begin.
you please join me in welcoming the members of the class of 1992, and a very special welcome for the members of the class of 1942 who are celebrating their 50th reunion. Welcome to the 137th graduation exercises of the Norwich Free Academy. I would ask all of you to rise for our national anthem, led by our combined Academy vocal groups under the direction of Mr. Brett Bernardini. Would you please remain standing for the invocation delivered by Monsignor James Connolly, class of 1940.
Almighty and everlasting God, we thank you for the joy, the happiness which so many of your sons and daughters experience on this day. Merciful Father, we acknowledge respectfully the mutual efforts which these young men and women have expended these past several years in company with their parents, teachers, and classmates in order to achieve the priceless reward which will be theirs today. Merciful Father, please continue to guide and prosper these young men and women as they continue their respective journeys in their chosen fields of endeavor. May they realize, too, to some degree, their hopes, their desires amidst the challenges which may inevitably come their way as they progress in their respective vocations and work. Benevolent Father, may our graduates persevere in pursuit of their ideals amidst the challenges besetting them as life progresses. Let them not be overcome by prosperity or adversity. Let them not be unduly lifted up by the one or cast down by the other. May they be ever mindful, Almighty God, of your presence in their lives, now and always. And may you, our graduates of this day, leave this fine school to which so many of us owe so much. This school, founded and developed by God-fearing men and women of another time, and so continually maintained to this day. May the memories of your years here be many and cordial ones. May you be ever grateful to parents and teachers and friends, and to the good Lord who has sustained you to this wonderful day. And may you go in peace, and may the Lord be with you. God bless you.
I'd ask you to remain standing and join in the singing of the Hymn Dundee, led by our Academy Choir. Mr. Benediction. Thank you. You may be seated. As our seniors are taking their seats, I'd like to thank the Parents' Council for supplying refreshments today. Thank you, parents. Our main address today will be given by General William Evans, class of 1942. General William J. Evans is a Norwich native who attended St. Mary's School, graduated NFA with a class of 1942, studied at Yale for 1 year, and graduated from the U.S. Military Academy in 1947. While serving in the United States Air Force, General Evans advanced through the ranks, achieving the rank of 4-star general in 1975. General Evans flew over 400 combat missions while serving in Korea and Vietnam, and has been awarded the Distinguished Flying Crosses, the Silver Star, the Bronze Star, and Air Medals with 23 clusters. These decorations were awarded for notorious achievements in combat, including work behind enemy lines. General Evans also received the Distinguished Service Medal for non-combat jobs well done at high levels of command. He recently retired from a second career at United Technologies, where he was Vice President and Department Head of the Defense System and Space Group. In his 1942 yearbook, General Evans was noted for sticking up for Greenville and for being happy-go-lucky yet moderate. It is also noted, and it is my pleasure because of that note, to introduce, quote, the most suave boy of 1942, General William Evans.
Thank you, Dr. Sherman, for that very generous introduction. I'm very proud to be a part of this special day here at the Norwich Free Academy. And it makes me feel decades younger to gaze out on this wonderful campus and see sparkling eyes, enthusiasm, youth, and energy. Of course, I'm talking about my classmates, the class of 1942. It hardly seems 50 years have passed since we sat here in the same seats and listened to a speaker warn us that we were leaving the warmth of high school life and moving into a cold, cruel world. And the world of 42 was indeed cold and cruel. World War II had enveloped most of the globe, and we and our allies were locked in a death struggle with the enemies of the free world. We had not much to look forward to. The French army had been defeated. England was being devastated with air attacks on a daily basis. And our country was still reeling under the catastrophic sneak attack by the Japanese at Pearl Harbor. Here at home, however, our country was resolute and was united in their fight to defeat the enemies of the free world. Gasoline, clothing, food were all rationed. Cuffs disappeared from our trousers, and shirt tails were shortened to provide more cloth for uniforms. Blackouts were in effect. Our parents were volunteering their free time in support of the war effort. Flags flew from every home, and unfortunately, many Norwich natives and some NFA graduates had already given their lives for you and for me and for our country. Now, I paint this quick picture of the national and world scene not to get you ready for a history quiz at the end of my remarks, but to kind of give you a sense of the mindset that our graduation class had and the insecurity and uncertainty that was in our future. Now let's fast forward from 1942 to 1992. This silly putty world we live in today changes shape almost as often as Oprah Winfrey. Our enemies of 1942, Italy, Germany, and Japan are now our allies. The USSR, a 9-foot-tall superpower just a couple of years ago, is now a loose confederation of quarreling states no taller than Michael J. Fox. The world is smaller today than it was in 1942, with 1,500-mile-an-hour air transportation, instant communications, and world events being beamed into our living rooms as they happen. And the world is probably safer because of the diminishing threat of nuclear war. But the world today is full of risk and complexity. In Europe, surges of ethnic pride and fervent nationalism create widespread instability. In the Middle East, we have the danger of spreading Islamic fundamentalism. In Central America, in South America, as well as in Africa, we have overpopulation, we have disease, we have poverty, and governments that can't cope with the rising expectations of their people. In our country, unlike the United States of 1942, the United States is a misnomer. We're not united. Why, we no longer have to share the stage with another superpower. We as citizens seem inconsistent and unsure of our role and our responsibilities as a world leader. We are instead a nation of whiners, of people that are unfocused. We criticize. We complain. We blame everyone and everything but ourselves for our problems. The Japanese are to blame for our economic woes. The president's to blame for the racism. The lack of federal money is the reason why U.S. students can't compete with the students of other developed nations. And our parents are to blame for our shortcomings and our failures. Not. Since we graduated, there have been 2 generations of Americans that have been trying to eliminate poverty and prejudice and disease in this country. Unfortunately, they are still with us. But we have made progress, and we must be patient. Why? Because in a democracy, change is a process. It is not an event. So why do we put away our crying towels and open our eyes to reality? Sure, our country isn't perfect. It has flaws. However, it's the best damn nation in the world. And yes, we're still climbing out of a recession. But we must remember that our economy is intrinsically linked as part of a global economy. There are foreign parts in American products, and there are American parts in foreign products. And it's you, the future workers, managers, and technicians of the United States, that are going to make the difference, and are going to decide whether you can compete and whether our country can compete in the world marketplace. And if you just decided that you will settle for mediocrity, and if you're decided that you are ready and willing to just run with the pack, you're not going to hack it, and this country isn't going to hack it. And as you move from high school to the workplace or higher education, you'll find that more and more your ability to compete will depend more and more on you. You won't have teachers cajoling you to study. Your parents will no longer be around all the time to discipline you to excel. And certainly your employers will not insist that you perform. They'll just find somebody else that will. Sure, our country has problems, but it takes more than money, and it takes more than the president to solve them. Yes, we need leadership, but we also need fellowship. remember, if each of us is not working solutions, we're a part of the problem. Perhaps if we look at problems as disguised opportunities and then work hard, we can succeed. Someone once said that behind every successful person is a proud spouse and a surprise mother-in-law. Now, I don't know whether that's true or not, but what I do know is behind every success is hard work. And success only comes before work in the dictionary. And even a failure can be a success if we learn from it. Remember, it's not how far you fall, it's how high you bounce. So each of you have a major influence on your future and the future of the United States. If you go to college, you can become a better student without one single dollar more of federal funds being pumped into the system. And if you go to work and work hard, you can become a better worker as long as you don't settle for mediocrity or mediocre performance. My advice is to strive not for perfection, but for excellence, and make something of yourself. In so doing, you can ensure your competitive edge and the competitive edge of our country. As a citizen, you can help stamp out racial bias by taking it out of your own makeup. And remember, we talk about economic strength and military strength. But what our country needs is moral strength made up by the high moral standards of each and every one of us. And another thing to remember, your most valuable asset will always be your reputation. So in closing, I congratulate each of you on a very significant accomplishment. I envy your youth, your energy, and the wealth of opportunities that are yours to be made. I wish that I could give you a crib sheet from the experiences of the class of 1942 that would make you wise before you get old. I wish you every success and the joy that comes with that success as you take on the responsibilities for your future and the future of our country. Yes, each of you can count, and each of you can make a difference. Now, remembering a lesson that I learned right here at the NFA and making a good speech, 3 B's: be brief, be sincere, and be seated.
Thank you, General Evans. The Ivy Oration is given each year by the student who wins the Newton Perkins Prize Speaking Contest. Starting in 1898, each graduating class has given a gift of ivy plantings to the school, symbolic of growth. Although we no longer plant ivy, each senior class plants cherry trees so that we may enjoy their growth and beauty, just as we watch with pride the growth and maturation of the students who graduate each year. This year, the Ivy Oration will be given by Eden Gass, who has distinguished herself in academic and extracurricular activities. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Eden Gass of the class of 1992.
Parents and students, adults and children, administrators, faculty, and staff, it is June 1992. We are standing on the threshold of the 21st century, about to enter a new era. 100 years ago, French author Victor Hugo stood on the threshold of another century, the 20th, our century. About it, he wrote, "In the 20th century, war will be dead, the scaffold will be dead, royalty will be dead, and dogmas will be dead, but man will live. For all, there will be but one country, that country the whole earth. For all, there will be but one hope, that hope, the whole heaven. All hail then to that noble 20th century, which shall own our children, and which our children shall inherit. We here today are the children Hugo was talking about, so the main question I have right now is, what happened? What happened to that noble century we were supposed to inherit? As I stand here in 1992, it seems to me that all the things Hugo mentioned are still alive and well, except perhaps for humankind itself. I look back on this century, the very one to which Hugo so happily looked forward, and I see wars, bloody revolutions, riots, hatred based on race, religion, nationality, and sex. I see environmental disasters, an AIDS epidemic, human rights atrocities, and even a few holocausts. But more than anything, I see, and this is what truly frightens me, generation after generation placing their faith in the idea that the children are the future. They have not placed much faith in themselves. Generation after generation adopting the attitude of, it's not my problem, or asking meekly, what can we do? I see generations living through violence and injustice as if they are asleep and hoping that when they wake up, someone else will have taken care of the problem. Our children are not our future. We are our children's future. We create the inherent elements of what their world will become. Whether or not that world will be one of hate and violence or one of understanding and justice is up to us. What kind of legacy are we going to leave behind? Let's look at some generations other than our own. The 70s was known as the disco generation, and the 80s was known as the me generation, so what are we 90s kids going to be known as? I hope that we will be known as more than simply the Pepsi generation. Are we going to allow ourselves to be remembered as the generation who watched too much TV and ate too much junk food and played with too many guns? I hope we can contribute more to history than just a lot of bad habits. Recently, a friend of mine advised me to write a speech that would wake people up, and I realized that it does rather seem as if some people have been in some kind of apathetic slumber. It seems as if maybe we've been sleeping through history. Take, for instance, our reaction to the infamous Watts riots of the late 60s. Everybody condemned the riots, but only superficially. People looked at the riots, and not at the reasons behind them. So, when the fighting was over with, was anything done to prevent a similar occurrence from happening in the future? Or did we simply clean up the violence, blow it off, and hope that no one would ever get angry again? In light of the recent LA riots in reaction to the Rodney King verdict, it seems we chose the latter path. Is this also the way we intend to deal with these new riots? Will we be shocked and appalled by them for a few weeks and then let them drift to the back of our collective mind to be forgotten and pray that our kids aren't the ones killed when this happens in another 20 years? Have we become that desensitized to violence? Are we going to remain asleep, or are we going to wake up and realize that those bodies on the TV screen are flesh and blood just like ours and not just electronic images? We cannot just condemn the riots as freak accidents with no concrete cause and no real cure. We must see, along with Emma Goldman, that the ultimate end of all revolutionary social change is to establish the sanctity of human life, the dignity of man, and the right of every human to liberty and well-being. Look at our reaction to the AIDS epidemic. It seems a lot of people have adopted the "it can't happen to me" mentality. And yet current estimates conclude that there are 1 million people in the United States who carry the AIDS virus. Taken literally, that means that 1 in every 100 men in this audience and 1 in every 300 women carry the HIV virus, whether they know it or not. And yet a recent poll shows that only half of all sexually active young people use condoms when they engage in sex. If we continue at this rate, our generation won't even be alive for much longer. We must wake up and protect ourselves, because it's no longer just a question of sex or teenage pregnancy, it's a question of life. Officially, taken literally, that means that 1 in every 100 men in this audience and 1 in every 300 women carry the HIV virus, whether they know it or not. And yet a recent poll shows that only half of all sexually active young people use condoms when they engage in sex. If we continue at this rate, our generation won't even be alive for much longer. We must wake up and protect ourselves, because it's no longer just a question of sex or teenage pregnancy, it's a question of life. AIDS is agonizingly deadly. Are we going to sit back and let our children inherit the plague of the 20th century? Look at our stand on the environment. We stand around breathing increasingly poisoned air and drinking increasingly dirty water. Our planet is becoming a desert as we speak, and yet the most a lot of people seem to do about it is put on an Earth Day t-shirt and feel that this is a satisfactory contribution to the salvation of the planet. Superficial gestures are no longer enough. Look around us, and I don't just mean at the United States. I mean at the world community, because we are its constituents. It's enormous, it's diverse, it's composed of over 5 billion people, and it's more complex than most of us can imagine. This is the community we are about to enter and contribute to. And yet, as I look at the violence and tension locally, and even here on campus, I wonder, if we can't even get along with each other in this community, how are we going to fare in the real world? Violent solutions never satisfy anyone or any problem. The moment you start bumping people off, you just make yourself a candidate for the same treatment. But my message today is not that we are doomed to an awful future. My message is simply that we still have time to change what this future is to become. We have never lacked the strength to do it. We have simply lacked the will. Yes, we live in a world where there is torture and hatred and starvation and homelessness. But we also live in a world where the human spirit is resilient and courageous. So wake up to what is around us. That is something it is never too late to do. Look at what's going on. Sisters and brothers wake each other up. Parents today, wake your children up. Kids, wake up your parents. Become aware. Desire understanding and change. But not only desire them, demand them, because they are not our privileges, they are our rights. We have but to ask for them. Speak up, make yourselves heard, register to vote. Instead of complaining about what's wrong around us, let's wake up and change it. It's our responsibility, not just to ourselves, but to our children. Yes, we are on the threshold of a new century. Let's look forward to it with as much hope and fervor as Hugo looked forward to the 20th. But this time, let's make it meet our expectations. Let's make it fit for our children to inherit. And we can do it. To quote Herman Melville, "We are the pioneers of the world, the advance guard sent on through the wilderness of untried things to break a path in the new world that is ours. In our youth is our strength, in our inexperience, our wisdom." Thank you.
Thank you, Eden. It is now my pleasure to read the names of our students who have been awarded scholarships, prizes, and medals. These awards are in addition to the ones which we have already given out Sunday night at the award ceremony, and also in addition to the ones given out last night at the annual alumni meeting. I'd ask the students to rise as I read their names, stay standing, and I'd ask the audience to hold the applause until all the names are read. The first group of students that I'd like to introduce you to are the 10 top scholars for the class of 1992. Swaroop Apedwadola, Jennifer Beasley, Hadir Elsamaladi, Robert Gaynor, David Grillotti, Allison Healy, Stephen Kabelski, Brian Pedersen, David Strauss, and Rochelle Uckstad. Would you please join me in congratulating these 10 top scholars? Again, I'd ask the students to rise as I read their names. John Enkowitz, the Thermos Employees Activity Association of Norwich Award. M. Wesley Armstrong, the William R. Birch Prize in Algebra. Vanessa Arpin, the George E. and Catherine H. Fontaine Scholarship. Sarah Avery, the Ralph J. Polsby and Daniel Polsby Award. Demetria Baker, the Charles F. and Jesse Smith Noyes Memorial Fund, and the John D. O'Hearn Award. Amy Banks, the Newton Perkins Medal in Latin 4, the Norwich Society of New York Current Events Prize, and the Peter and Josephine Gwizdowski Award. Mark Barrett, the Harold Aberg Scholarship. Dawn Barry, the Stam Prize. Craig Button, the James M. Malone Jr. Memorial Award. Brian Beard, the Frank P. Welch Award. Jennifer Beasley, the Class of 1893 Prize given by Henry D. Johnson, Class President. Albert Beauregard, the Thomas Michael Twomey Memorial Fund. Timothy Beauregard, the Lucy A. W. Blackman Prize. Christopher Bernier, the George E. and Catherine H. Fontaine Scholarship Fund. Tara Biaz, the Charles F. and Jesse Smith Noyes Memorial Award. Jennifer Bond, the Wanda S. Nowasatka Memorial Award. Amy Brewer, the Walter J. Cody Sr. Award. Heather L. Brown, the Alfred Sussman Prize. Brian Brozina, the Jerry Keller Scholarship Award. Dana Burleson, the Frederick H. Cranston Prize for Choir, and the Leslie J. Spivak Memorial Award. Karen Brzezicki, the Joseph B. Downs Government Prize. Scott Chalfant, the Man-Wearing Prize. Ursula Chappelle, the Miss Edith Jens Memorial Prize. Ryan Clement, the Mary Beatrice Sharp Scholarship Fund. Stacy Cloak, the Mary Beatrice Sharp Scholarship Fund. Marnie Coit, the Robert Williams Prize, Honorable Mention. Andrea Coletti, the Marty Archibald DeLucia Award. Amy Coloni, the Susan H. Swanson Memorial Award, and the Presidential Academic Fitness Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement. James Combs, the Fireman's Memorial Award. Jennifer Contos, the Henry A. Archambault MD Award. Emily Kutu, the Charles F. and Jesse Smith Noyes Memorial Fund. Catherine Craig, the Williams Prize in Letter Writing. Peter Cronin, the Ellsworth Kramer Memorial Award. Erica Curran, the Thermos Employees Activity Association of Norwich Award. Derek Davis, the Landman Award and the Student Advisory Board Scholarship. Melissa De Leon, the Class of 1904 Award and the Lillian S. Spilling Award for Grade 12. Angela DeShane, the Mary Beatrice Sharp Scholarship Fund. Jared Dillian, the Frederick H. Cranston Prize for Band, and the Thomas J. and Grace M. Dodd Memorial Fund. David Ditmore, the Peter D. Barber Memorial Scholarship. Ann DeTolo, the Michael J. Bahara Scholarship Award. Carrie Drummond, the Frederick H. Cranston Prize for Glee Club. Jean Dugas, the Class of 1952 Award. Jennifer Eaton, the Anita S. Meyer Council of Jewish Women Prize, and the Kimberly Nunes Memorial Award. Connie Eisman, the Esther K. Taft Memorial Scholarship and the Mary Beatrice Sharp Scholarship Fund. Hadir El-Samalati, the Mary E. Everett Memorial Award and the Mary Beatrice Sharp Scholarship Fund. Marisa Emanuel, the Mattie F. Land Prize and the Mary Beatrice Sharp Scholarship Fund. Matthew Finnegan, the Lillian S. Young Spelling Award for 9th grade. Lori Fleming, the Mahoney Family Scholarship Fund Award and the Dr. Lewis Sears Memorial Award. Elizabeth Frater, the George E. and Catherine H. Fontaine Scholarship Fund. Michael Gabiga, the Isidore Berkman Endowment Fund Award. Michael Galligan, the Robert M. Anderson Memorial Scholarship Fund. Eden Gass, the Williams Prize for Reading. Kristen Garrity, the Barney Berkman Memorial Award. Michael Girl, the Roberts H. Bishop Prize. Amy Giesing, the Charles F. and Jesse Smith Noyes Memorial Fund. Laura Gilliland, the Williams Prize Letter Writing and the Robert Williams Prize. James Goen, the Charles Nowasatka Award. Kathleen Gravel, the Lewis Arnold Sabelt Award. Patricia Gravel, the Cigna S. Post Scholarship and the Mary Beatrice Sharp Scholarship. Paige Greenfield, for reading the Cadden 1922 Prize, Honorable Mention, the Newton Perkins Medal in Declamation, the W. Wells Lyman Memorial Award, and the United Italian Society of Norwich Award. David Grillotti, the Faith Bonfrey Prize and the Raymond V. Congdon Senior Award. Stephen Gribben, the Roberts H. Bishop Prize, Dr. Morris Mace Goldblatt Scholarship Award, Mary Beatrice Sharp Scholarship Fund, and the James A. Williams Memorial Award. Tony Granacca, the Frederick H. Cranston Prize in Orchestra, and the Charles F. and Jessie Smith Noyes Memorial Fund. Robert Gwynn, Reading Cadden 1922 Prize. Allison Healy, Priscilla Crary Award in Choir, and the Norwich Rotary Club Scholarship Award. Karen Heitert, the Sears Citizenship Prize and the Joseph W. Polsby Award. Brendan Hinchy, the Paul Zing Robbins Memorial Fund. Christine Johnson, the Mary Beatrice Sharp Scholarship Fund. James Justice, the Robert T. Roach Award. Tammy Kettle, the Class of 1966 Memorial Award. Stephen Kabelski, the Peggy Ilal Memorial Award and the George E. and Catherine H. Fontaine Scholarship Fund. Johanna Kornacki, the Frank T. Brown Prize. Heidi Kraus, the Katie and Walter Navick Prize Fund and the Dr. Daniel D. Young Memorial Award. Kelly Lancy, the Peter D. Barber Memorial Scholarship. Ellen Larson, the James F. Wilbur Prize. Heather Lathrop, the Mary Beatrice Sharp Memorial Fund. Kenneth Latman, the Newton Perkins Medal for Drawing and the Norwich Lions Club Award. Catherine LeClaire, the Phillips Paul Labrie Memorial Fund. Pamela Lebechko, the Mary Beatrice Sharp Scholarship Fund. Rebecca Malish, the Isidore Berkman Endowment Fund. David Mallett, the Marty Gilman Scholar Athlete Memorial Fund Award and the R, L, and G Agency Award. Melissa Maurice, the Beckish Award. Amber McElwain, the Leo E. Tetrault Memorial Award. Kelly McNamara, the Kelly M. Reardon Memorial Award. Stephen Mercier, the Lillian S. Young Spelling Award for Grade 10. Janice Miller, the Newton Perkins Medal for German 4. Keely Miller, the Rosario Cipriani Award. Danielle Mooney, the Student Advisory Board Scholarship and the Gerson D. Silverberg Memorial Award. Kristen Mooney, the Charles Whitty Scholarship Award, the Thomas W. Dutton Memorial Award, and the Kermit John F. Belcher Award. Megan Moore, the Charles F. and Jessie Smith Noyes Memorial Award. Jason Morrill, the Edward Zabrowski Jr. Memorial Award and the Jeffrey Kerrigan Memorial Award. Dennis Munch, the Gardner Green Award. Noreen Nadeau, the Catherine M. Dutton Award. Denise Nenna, the Mary C. Evetts Memorial Prize. Dana Northey, the Lucy A.W. Blackman Prize. Michelle O'Hare, the Mary Beatrice Sharp Scholarship Fund, and the Frida Kofkoff Schneider Award. Christopher Patsky, the Charles F. and Jessie Smith Noyes Memorial Fund. Brian Pedersen, the George C. and Catherine H. Fontaine Scholarship Fund. Luis Perez, the Wendy Lynn Barabolt Memorial Fund Art Award, the James Manley Austin Memorial Fund, and the Socialite Club of New London Scholarship. Jody Perkowski, the George Gilman Award and the Walter Kane Memorial Award. Denise Perry, the Susan J. Angelico Award and the Socialite Club of New London Award. John Pollock, the Williams Prize in Advanced Accounting, the Matee Land Prize, the Louis Laguerre Memorial Scholarship Fund, and the Ernest A. Zaki Scholarship Fund Award. Aaron Polkinen, the Robert T. Roach Award, and the George E. and Catherine H. Fontaine Scholarship Fund. Ryan Polkinen, the George E. and Catherine H. Fontaine Scholarship Fund. Stephen Polkinen, George E. and Catherine H. Fontaine Scholarship Fund. Robin Relaford, the Henry E. Ladd Scholarship Fund. Stephanie Rice, the Lee Ann Apthorpe Memorial Award. Tammy Robbins, the Marion E. Blackman Prize. Christopher Robinson, the Jeremiah Halsey Prize. Sean Rucker, the Abraham Levin Award in Music. Krista Ruley, the George E. and Catherine H. Fontaine Scholarship Fund. Sarah St. Marie, the Norwich College Club Scholarship. Kasia Schultz, the Newton Perkins Medal in Social Studies, the Williams R. Burge Prize in Algebra, and the Williams R. Burge Prize in English and Social Studies. Sharon Seligman, the Newton Perkins Medal in French, and the Hans Longhammer MD Award. Jill Shea, the Nabel H. Talcott U.S. History Prize and the Samuel Schlossberg Memorial Award. Mark Sikowski, the David J. Ladone Memorial Award. Dennis Sikorsky, the Alexander J. Bogdansky Memorial Award. Anka Smekens, the Andrew Poprosky Prize. Craig Smith, the Charles F. and Jessica Smith Noyes Memorial Fund. Gregory Smith, Robert W. Sales Prize. David Strauss, the Newton Perkins Medal for Proficiency in English. Elizabeth Tardif, the Lillian S. Young Spelling Award for Grade 11. Troy Tate, the Francis R. Michonne II Memorial Fund Award. Lisa Tracy, the Elizabeth Sawyer Chemistry Prize. Kathy Tucker, the Mary Beatrice Sharp Award. Jennifer Tynan, the William R. Burge Prize for Latin. Sarah Vaklovic, the Manwaring Prize. Noah Vaughter, the Robert W. Sales Prize and the Charles F. and Jessie Smith Noyes Memorial Fund. Lisa Weber, the Andrea House Silver Award. Amy Weinberg, the Marion E. Blackman Prize. Naomi Winokur, the Paul J. Agranovich Memorial Award. And Kristen Youngstrom, the Jamie J. Pappas and Thomas J. Dorsey Memorial Scholarship Fund. Congratulations to all of our students, their parents, and their friends. You might be interested in knowing that we are expecting about 75% of the class of 1992 to go on to 2- or 4-year institutions. That percentage is the highest in Academy history, and I congratulate all of you on your great accomplishments. And I hope those scholarships help parents. Our next speaker is the class speaker, who was selected in the Newton Perkins prize-winning competition. I'm very proud to introduce this year's class speaker, a young man who has distinguished himself as a scholar, a musician, an athlete, and one of our class leaders. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Jared Dillian.
Well, I would like to begin by addressing the parents, teachers, administrators, and all others responsible largely for the success of the graduating class in 1992, and I implore them to take a moment to observe my classmates seated here before you. Examine them closely. You'll see they don't appear to be too much different from any other graduating class. Every year it's the same old thing. About this time of the year, it's the same old sea of red caps and gowns with similar goals and ambitions to those of previous classes and classes to follow, all anxiously waiting for that official-looking frameable document with that fancy calligraphy that says we can all get on with the rest of our lives. However, these are only superficial observations. Think about the circumstances that surrounded their formative years at NFA. On the purely local level, this will be the only class to graduate from NFA with only Dr. Sherman as superintendent principal. This class was also the last class not required to endure the freshman house. Our freshman year was spent like it should be, fraught with anxiety about attending classes with upperclassmen. But seriously, It is the global concerns that really shape the intellect of the student. Remember this, in 1989, at the end of freshman year, a senseless massacre of over 2,000 people occurred in Tiananmen Square in Beijing. Lower year, the fall of the Berlin Wall and the reunification of Germany, which led to the eventual demise of the communist ideology in Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union, which had been around longer than most of our parents could remember. Upper year, we had a war. We had a real honest-to-goodness war when the only existence that they ever knew was peacetime. It sent family members abroad and had some of our classmates worrying about a draft in case of a long, drawn-out conflict. And finally, this year, senior year, we had the worst economic downturn that the United States has seen in years. My point is, the world has not stood still during the 4 years that they've spent here studying hard, playing hard, busy being high school students. Each of these events have contributed greatly to the intellectual makeup of these students. Nietzsche points out that individual philosophical concepts are not something arbitrary, something growing up autonomously, but on the contrary, grow up connected and related to each other. And as they have grown up, the world climate has helped form an admirable, well-informed, cultured, concerned class of students. Whether they know it or not, they have the tools and the talent to become a very influential generation, simply because of the circumstances surrounding them. This class may also mark the end of an age of an alarming individualism that has pervaded both students and all of society, for that matter. For the past 20 years, the individualism, where carving out one's own personal niche and just making it in life, was always preferred to heroism. Although they've had all the physical comforts of life without any particular anxiety about personal well-being, there's no longer any guarantee that this comfort may continue. There's no longer the confidence that an easy living can be made. Therefore, these students will not be so quick to give up in favor of a lesser cause the freedoms and comforts that was fought for by earlier generations. These students have also lived in a state where a certain sense of impotence prevails, where there was much doubt that one can have any influence at all over the collective. Politics was replaced by a seemingly eternal administrative specter, but things may be changing very soon. The one remaining circumstance that they will benefit from is that they're all turning 18 at the right time. This could be the most important election in United States history. Because of the uncertainty about the future of America, this particular election will probably determine the American social, intellectual, and economic climate for years to come. How fortuitous that somebody is asking for their opinion just at the moment when they are legally prepared to give it. November could very well mark the end of that poisonous individualism. And now I shall address my classmates. The class of '89's motto was Semper Inveniliis, forever young. Semper Inveniliis no longer applies. It is an idealistic illusion that for now should be buried. Consider staying young when times are better. Amidst the confusion that is going on right now, we have to rise to meet the challenge of making decisions about what direction we want our country to go. Not to decide is to automatically concede defeat. Now is the time to take advantage of our newfound responsibility. Now is the time to make a huge difference in the future of this nation. And now is the time to contribute to bring back prosperity. The phrase, one person can make a difference. One person can make a difference. Can sound awfully cliche sometimes, I admit that, but that's because some of that passionless individualism remains. All of us can make a difference. If each one of us gives back what we've been given by these people on the stage and your faculty seated over there, it would be a marvelous thing. Don't spend your life passionless, searching for comfort and contentedness just within yourself. Don't let relativism and apathy bring us down. I've met so many wonderful people and my classmates here at NFA, 100% good, caring people. Most say that things will get worse before they get better, but they don't necessarily have to. It is all up to us. I have absolutely no doubts that the ones to change the status quo and lead our generation into the 21st century will be my classmates, the most outstanding class of 1992.
Thank you, Jared. At this point, I'd like to introduce our teachers who are retiring as members of the class of 1992 and ask them to stand when I read their names. Miss Sarah Jane Scherer. Dr. John Toro. Mr. Louis Lita Jr. Mrs. Carolyn Andrews. Mr. John Young. Mr. Young is the teacher to whom the class of 1992 has dedicated their yearbook. Mr. Timothy Ryan Jr. and Mr. Jack Fix. We thank them for the years of service, and we wish them well in their retirement. Thank you. I would like to thank the entire Academy family for 4 wonderful years. I've had the opportunity to work with some of the most dedicated and talented teachers I've ever known, and I thank them for what they do each and every day for our students. The independence of this institution must be maintained. When day after day we hear about the failures of American education, the distrust of the voting population towards our government, and the many other problems that you've heard described by Eden, by Jared, and by General Evans, then we must stop, and I would encourage you to proclaim loudly that there is at least one school in this country which year after year sets a standard for others, and that school is the Norwich Free Academy. This school has the lowest per pupil cost of any regional high school in the state of Connecticut. It combines low cost with great achievements in all areas. I encourage our alumni to get involved with the Academy and to hold your school up as a model for the rest of our country. And one final word of thanks must go to these 412 students on the field. We entered the Academy together 4 years ago, and today we leave together. I'm proud that I've had the opportunity to serve you, the class of 1992. The past few days have been especially busy ones for you with the prom, the post-prom party, baccalaureate, awards program, senior breakfast, alumni meeting, and now there are no more speeches. No more awards. Now it is my pleasure, as my last official act as headmaster of this school, to grant you your diplomas. It is time to start the celebration. Would the seniors on the south side of the field please rise to receive the diplomas? Would the senior class officers please come to the podium to read the names of the classmates who are graduating? Ms. Scherer, who is retiring this year as a senior teacher, will present the first diploma.
Noah John Adamowski. Jenny Lorraine Adams. Marlo Jean Adams. Adam Scott Allard. Rebecca Susan Allen. Joseph Stephen Ankowitz, Jr. Swaroop Apadwadula. Vanessa Lorraine Arpin. Willie Michelle Artis. Sarah Elizabeth Avery. James Stephen Baird.
Vanessa.
Demetria Lynn Baker. Amy Lynn Ballinger. Melissa Teresa Baylog. Mark Robert Barrett. Dawn Ann Barry. Joseph Gary Bartolucci, Jr. Danny Lee Bates. Craig Nelson Baton. Jason Richard Bazinet. Brian Wayne Beard. Jennifer Frances Beasley. Albert Leo Beauregard, Jr. Timothy Allen Beauregard. Holly Ann Benson. Lynette Nadine Benson. Amy Lynn Burke. Christopher Taylor Bernier. Matthew Stephen Bialois. Tara Lynn Diaz. Jennifer Lou Bond. Susan Barbara Bobenhager. Jennifer Lee Breen. Amy Gail Brewer. Christopher Allen Briggs. Jennifer Lynn Brown. Brian Michael Brosina. Roxanne Brunsden. Daryl Lane Buffington, Jr. Dana Lee Burleson, Jr. Lisa Burns. Karen Beth Berzicki. Stephen Andrew Batova, Jr. Amy Marie Butts. Carol Lee Candler. Jennifer Lynn Casey. Ursula Lynn Chappelle. Jennifer Lynn Chapman. Trina Nicole Charles. Chick Leung Chang. Sarah Jane Chernowski. Caroline Rosemary Cerrito. James Andrew Klang. Ryan Charles Clement. Sarah Cleveland. Stacy Lee Cloak. Marnie Elaine Coit. Andrea Lynn Coletti. Amy Marie Coloni. James Edward Combs. William Francis Connors. Jennifer Lynn Contos. Catherine Ann Contos. Gregory Mark Cormier. Michelle Lynn Cody. Emily Ann Kutu. Kerry Scott Kutu. Ernest James Cavino. Alan Michael Crane. Justin Michael Crawford. Thomas Allen Cressy. Timothy Andrew Cressy. Peter Mitchell Cronin. Erica Ann Curran. Tracy Jean Courier. Kevin Lee Daniel.
Derek LaShawn Davis. Sherry Ann Dayton. Richard Joseph Delorge Jr. Angela Marie DeShane. Michelle Ann DeWolf. Troy William DeWolf. Jared Colin Dillion. Adam Joseph Diskin. David Alexander Ditmore. Beth Amber Dodge. Keith Evan Donatelli. Anne Marie Dodolo. Brian Patrick Doyle. Kristen Michelle Drown. Paul Roland Doobie. Amy Lee Duddy. Lynn Michelle Dufour. Jean Marie Dugas. And Lee Elizabeth Duillis. Jessica Lee Dyer. Jennifer Marie Eaton. Franklin Thomas Edwards Jr. Connie Ellen Eisman. Hadir Nader El-Samalodi.
Marisa Ann Emanuel. Ruth Elizabeth Etchels. Washika Olashana Felder. Alan Ray Fitch Jr. Crystal Marie Fitzgerald. Lori Ann Fleming. Lori Christine Flynn. Amy Lynn Foley. David Francis Fontaine. Kenneth Charles Fowler Jr. Elizabeth Ann Frater. Hope Lynn Frechette. Eric Richard Frederick. Lisa Arlene Fritz. Vincent Allen Gaboret Jr. Michael William Gabiga. Robert Louis Gaynor. Michael Patrick Galligan. Geraldine Dale Garcia. Christopher Beck Gardner. Eden Judith Gass. Kristen Ann Garrity.
Heather Chandel Gelmini. Michael Henry Gurl. Catherine Giardi. Amy Marie Giesing. Laura Denise Gilliland. Jonas Eric Golden. James Joseph Guin. Rhonda Christine Gowan. Caroline Jane Marie Grandjean. Patricia Noreen Gravel. Anna Lisa Gray. Sarah Anna Gray. Joanna Lee Green. David John Grillotti. Stephen Francis Gribben. Jackie Lynn Grillo. Peter Michael Gruber III. Tony Gaetano Granaccia. Melissa Gillette. Tracy Ann Guy. Jason George Habib. Tanisha Elizabeth Tucker Hadley. Lisa Marie Hafner. Diana Lynn Hagan. Cheryl Louise Hansen.
Yoonju Kim Hardigan. Britta Michonne Hartwell. Allison Paige Healy. Frank Lee Heft. Karen Elizabeth Kreidert. Tammy Lee Hewlett. Marcus Raymond Hilario. Brendan Shannon Hinchy. Timothy Robert Holgate. Christina Shea Holmberg. Allison Lee Howard. Sherry Lynn Howard. Jan Easing Jr. Daryl Craig Jackson. Becky Ann Jacobson. Julie Lois James. Thomas Jenks. Damar Andre Jenkins. Christine Robin Johnson. Derek Lamont Johnson. Twana Devon Johnson. Andrea Lynn Jones. Dawn Marie Jones. James Eric Justice. Kelly Virginia Kaiser. Alexander John Capolotis.
Jeffrey Scott Keith. Clinton James Kennedy. Christina Marie Kurtula. Tammy Lynn Kettle. Crystal Ann Key. Jennifer Lynn Cannell. Jolene Sue Kleeman. Stephen Thomas Kobelski. Dawn Marie Kornacki. Johanna Elizabeth Kornacki. Heidi Beth Kraus. Joseph Raymond Lebrecht. Danielle LaChapelle. Michelle LaChapelle. Kelly Lynn Lancy. Lorna Marie LaPearl. Christopher Robert LaSaracina. Allison Jean Latham. Heather Lynn Lathrop. Kenneth Brian Latman. Jenny Rebecca Lavoie. Pamela Ann Lebeco. Ramon Joseph Michael Lebron. Catherine Mary LeClaire. Timothy Charles Ledoux. Lavinia Sherry Lee.
The students on the south side of the field, please be seated. For the students on the north side, please rise.
Jonathan Patrick Lay. Deborah Ann Lakwala. King Lou. Tammy Ann Loomis. Samantha Lee Lawrence. Thomas Vincent Latito. Kevin James Lutzko. Sarah Elizabeth Machaney. Dave Christopher Mackin. Rachel Ann Main. Mark David Maxim.
Mark David Maxim. Come here. Who do you have? Here's Dave Maxim. You have Dave Maxim? You gotta be kidding me.
Sorry.
Oh, come on. You want another one? You didn't give it out. Christopher.
Rebecca Judith Malish. David Allen Mallet. Tyler William Marshall. Heidi Melissa Marston. Angela Estelle Mason. Christine Matthews. Stacy Jean Maudsley. Melissa Dawn Maurice. Denise Ann May. Elena Mabin. Glenn Alvin Mayo Jr. Tracy Renee MacArthur. Sheila Lynn McCall. Amy May McCarthy. Stephen Charles McLeod.
Amber Denise McElwain. Christopher Michael McFarlane. Thomas Patrick McGrath. Jenny Lorraine Medellin. Amelia Jo Mendonça. Melissa Lynn Mehog. Christine Ann Milford. Janice Sylvia Miller. Keely Ann Miller. Kelly Joy Miller. James David Milovich. Andrea Corin Miner.
There it is.
Jeffrey Roger Messino. Kimberly Sue Mitchell. Heidi Ruth Mozek. Nicole Catherine Monter. Sean David Moon. Danielle Jean Mooney. Kristen Lee Mooney. Megan Colleen Moore. Karen Danielle Moriarty. Jason Robert Morrow. Dennis Edward Minch. Christina Marie Murphy. Shane Murphy.
Sunsari Marie Murray. Noreen Marie Nadeau. Stephen Gordon Navick. Christelle Marie Nelson. David Lamont Nelson. Denise Francis Nenna. Jessica Marie Newman. Corey Paul Nichols. Jason Julius Nutzel. Dana Robin Northey. Michelle Nadia Ohar. Stephanie Annette Palmero. Jeannie Lynn Polonin. Donald Russell Patterson. Christopher Drosner Patsky. Arthur Oliver Paul III. Brian Tobias Peterson. Meredith Lynn Peliquin. Kimberly Lynn Pemberton. Luis Oscar Perez. Jody Marie Perkowski.
Denise Michelle Perry. Mark David Pescatello. Rebecca Lynn Phelps. Elton Ray Piper. James David Plant Jr. Kimberly Ann Plant. Heather Ann Pedraza. John Edward Pollock. Jessica Suzanne Poole. Donald Patrick Pothier. Danica Lee Prescott. Aaron Kristen Pulkinen. Ryan Andrew Pulkinen. Stephen Edward Pulkinen. Janelle Amady Putz. Keely Elizabeth Quinn. Jennifer Renee Radicke. Rebecca Lee Barogevich. Joshua Jackson Reed. Robin Charisse Relaford. Tina Ann Rhodes. Stephanie Marie Rice. Rachel Rose Richardson. Tammy Jean Robbins. Christopher Rowe Robinson. Neil Jason Robinson. Omar Beltra Rodriguez.
David Gabriel Rothel. Denise Marie Rothel. Heidi Elizabeth Rothel. Amy Lynn Rondeau. Leah Jennifer Rosacker. Ronald Eric Roy. Sean Lucille Rucker. Denise Marie Rothel. Heidi Elizabeth Rothel. Amy Lynn Rondeau. Leah Jennifer Rosacker. Ronald Eric Roy. Sean Lucille Rucker. Crystal Marie Ruley. Neely Erin Rushford. James Bernard Rizicki Jr. Amber Jean Ritigliano. Hallie Joan Ryan. Julia Ann Sabrowski. Carrie Ann Sakowitz. Anthony John Salvino. Jeffrey Roche Sammy. Alejandro Alberto Santibanez. Dominic Joseph Salvo. Heather Ray Sawyer. Jamie Ann Sawyer. James Allen Schaefer. Matthew Joshua Scott. Esther Camelia Seeley. David William Seals. Jennifer Eleanor Seeger. Jason Thomas Shalkowski. Jill Elizabeth Shea. David Darby Sherman III. Heather Autumn Shadegas. April Ann Shoemaker. Mark Siskowski. Dennis John Sikorsky. Todd Alexander Simons. Anka Smakins. Gregory Anson Smith. Douglas Brian Sparks. Carol Rogers Spalding. Lori Ann Spencer. Sarah Ann St. Marie. Craig Matthew Staggs.
Michelle Anna Stearns. Richard Edward Stefega II. Lori Lee Stoltz. David George Strauss. Jason Gregory Straczynski. Kristen Heather Sula. Sai Krishna Serapanini. Rhonda Eileen Swartz.
Kevin Montrell Swinson. Tracy Lee Tambora. Laura Ellen Tarrick. Elizabeth Emma Teft. Lori Ann Tellier. Charity Faith Terwilliger. Erica Dawn Tessier. Jennifer Lynn Tatro. Mark Anthony Thomas. Jason Edward Thompson. Jill Catherine Thompson. Maura Stabile Thornton. Lisa Marie Tracy. Kathy Marie Tucker. Kenneth Charles Tucker IV. Rochelle Ann Ugstad. Jennifer Robin Urban. Noah Theodore Vaughter. Vincent Johann Valentine Verone. Sharon May Wagner. Gretchen Fawn Walker. Heather Marie Ward. Lori Lee Watson. Sherry Lynn Way.
Kelly Jean Weber. Lisa Gwen Weber. Benjamin David Webman. Jean Marie Welling. Amy Christine Weinberg. Gertrude Elizabeth Weltig. Sharon Ann Welton. Dawn Marie Werkheiser. Kurt Raymond Westman. Julianne Wheeler. Melissa Joyce Whited. Donald Edward Wilcox III. Jason Harold Williams. Michael Paul Willis. Burris Gayan Wilson Jr. Tammy Marie Winter. Aaron Lee Whitco. Nathan Douglas Ray. William Robert Newton Wrigley. Christine Youngstrom. Stacy Lynn Zawacki. Shelley Beth Zolaz.
the class officers who will receive their diplomas from General William Evans. Secretary, Amy Elizabeth Banks. Treasurer, Melissa Joy De Leon. Vice President, Naomi Lynn Winnicor. And President, Kathleen Elizabeth Gravel.
On behalf of the class of 1942, I would like to welcome the class of 1992 into the honored group of alumni of the Norwich Free Academy.
Congratulations, seniors. Turn your tassels. You have been graduated from the Norwich Free Academy, class of 1992. You can be seated. Dr. Sherman, trustees, graduates, honored guests, and the class of 1942, it is an honor to be here this evening with the opportunity to thank you for spending this special day with us. The class of 1942's presence here proves to our class that the spirit and unity, which we have worked so hard to cultivate, does not end with graduation. You are an inspiration to all of us, as well as models showing exactly what we can accomplish as graduates of the Norwich Free Academy. For this, I thank you. To Dr. Sherman, I would personally like to thank you for all you have done for me and our class as a whole. You have supported us in our efforts to show our school and community that the class of 1992 is a special class with special people. You will be greatly missed by myself and the Norwich Free Academy family, which you have helped to create. You have truly succeeded, Dr. Sherman. Now to my fellow graduates. We have been through a great deal together. Our donut sales will go down in history, as will our class trip spent with Cuckoo and Jocko. Through everything, we have built a bond which I am confident will last forever. And I'm sure most of us will be back here in the year 2042 for our 50th reunion. Now is our day to shine. Here's to you, 92. You're the greatest. Everything that we have accomplished as a class would not have been possible without the love and support of our advisors, Mrs. Battisto, Mrs. Vaca, Mrs. Close, and Mr. Sharon. Our class gift this year reflects our appreciation to those special people and the art school here on campus. Mrs. Bruce, it is my pleasure to present to you this check for a networkable Apple laser printer, NTR, Mac, or IBM with cable tray and X-ray generator to be used by the art department and the art school. I also have a check here for $2,000 to be used towards the completion of the NFA Performing Arts Center. Thank you.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I would like to thank the class of 92 for their gift. I'm not certain what all of that first part was, but I do know what the check is. Thank you very much. Now that I'm in the habit of speaking on behalf of other people, I would like to address first, taking the liberty of speaking not only for the trustees, but for the class of 1992, to the parents, to the family, and to the friends who are sitting out there. Thank you for your love and your guidance and your support, because without that, this would not have been possible. To the faculty, to the staff, and to the administration, thank you for your diligence and your dedication, for without that, this would not have been possible. Finally, to the class of 1992, I know now I'm speaking for everyone here. Congratulations. We love you. We're proud of you. We wish you peace and success. There is one more member of the class of 1992 who has not yet received a diploma. I've been waiting to say this. Dr. Morton Sherman. I am pleased, I am honored, and I am happy to present to Dr. Sherman this diploma which puts him a member of your class. Outstanding, hardworking, and spectacular. Congratulations.
I'll make a deal with the class of 1992. What is that, 2042, Kathy? Is that what you said? I'll meet you back here. All right? Thank you, Mrs. Bruce. Congratulations to all our new alumni. I wish you the very best and would echo the sentiments of Mrs. Bruce and pray for your health, for your success, and for your happiness. And ask you all to rise now for our alma mater, led by our Academy Choir.
Till the seas become a baked head, and the stars forget to shine, till the clouds obscure the sunlight, and 'tis darkness all the time, till the raindrops cease their falling, and the winds forget to blow, till this gale world stops whirling, NFA our love shall know. Hail to all her sturdy heroes, heroes of the track and field, ones who meet no end of victory, heroes who would scorn to yield, with a vim and zeal unequal, they will fight until the end, each one knowing 'tis his duty, his school's honor to defend. So in years to come we're severed from that home we love so well, in our hearts the golden memories of our youth will ever dwell. So whenever we see that banner and we watch its folds unfurl, we will cheer for alma mater, NFA, now rise and
Would you please remain standing for the benediction delivered by Reverend David Cannon, a friend of the Academy and my friend.
Lord, it is your will for us to welcome new freedoms now. We welcome new freedom to embark on a career, freedom to earn our own money or train to earn it, freedom to spend our money or to save it, freedom to fashion new routines, freedom to plan leisure, freedom to bear new responsibilities, freedom to make fresh meaning out of life, freedom to choose to vote. We welcome new freedom to grow into the world you have given us, to travel to the destination that you have prepared for us to meet and serve the people that you have waiting for us, and in the challenge of freedom we pray to equip us. Let the decisions of freedom direct us, in the art of freedom discipline us, in the dangers of freedom protect us, in the raptures of freedom steady us, in the life of freedom give us joy, in the use of freedom grant us wisdom. What a world! 21 million people killed in one war. Everyone still at a loss to show and to know how to turn enemies into friends and to free their way of life from the threat of nuclear disaster. 2/3 of the world kept hungry. Thousands killed every year on the roads. Now it is our turn, and we shall be responsible too. To bear this responsibility, we shall need your protection, Lord. The armor plating of your Spirit, O Lord, protect us. Protect us from big business, which sees us as industrial fodder, from slick salespersons who treat us as an easy market for industrial junk, from glib advertisements which promise success for the price of a tube of toothpaste, for the pressure of unscrupulous competition from status symbols, and for lust for money and position. Yes, Lord, protect us. From those who would foul our minds, soil our bodies, and ignite our spirits. From the bomb, the bottle, the drug, and the car crash, Lord, protect us. From ourselves, for we are often our worst enemies, protect us. What now, free to stand the relentless din and monotony of the factory? Yes, but not to be dehumanized by it. What now, free to take interminable exams? Yes, but not to be victimized by them. What free to be involved in the sins of humanity? Yes, but to be forgiven. What free to believe in a God of love in a world of ruin? Yes, but without proving him true. What even free to die now? Yes, but only to find we are sons and daughters of God, and we are meant each for eternity. And as we wish our friend and colleague, Dr. Sherman, Godspeed and good luck, good health and peace in your life and in the life of your families. Amen.
Hold. I'd ask the audience to remain in your seats as the class of 1992 leaves the field as our alumni. Congratulations and best wishes.
That concludes NFA TV's production of the 1992 graduation. The graduates are leaving the field right now. And not only their last chance here on the NFA campus, but also the last chance for Dr. Sherman. We'd like to extend our congratulations to the newest members of the NFA family of alumni, the class of 1992.
This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Remember, use your melon, don't abuse your